Hello and a very warm welcome to Science Monitor, your weekly update on what's happening in the field of science, technology, research and innovation in and around the country. I'm Tina Jha. From a customizable oxygen enrichment unit developed by CSIR-CMERI to IIT Mandi's new technique to diagnose neurological problems, we have plenty in store for you on this edition of Science Monitor. But as always, let's begin with the headlines. Adherence to COVID-19 protocols can tackle all variants of SARS-CoV-2. COVID-appropriate behavior and large-scale vaccination are a must to break the COVID-19 chain. CSIR-CMERI develops a new oxygen enrichment unit to tackle the current oxygen crisis. The inexpensive and efficient technology can be customized according to requirement. New method developed to detect abnormal brain characteristics associated with ischemic stroke. IIT Mandi researchers develop point-of-care device to simultaneously assess nerve function and blood flow in the brain. Need for better health services is leading to many opportunities in the field of hospital management. Even non-science graduates can make a successful career in this field. And now the news in detail. The second wave of COVID-19 is affecting every system of the country. The main reason behind the aggravation of the disease is our lack of adherence to COVID-19 safety protocols. Although the new strains of the virus are in circulation, yet all of these strains can be tackled effectively by following the same measures that were used for the original virus. This is the time to strengthen our COVID response by saying yes to vaccination and also by strictly adhering to COVID-appropriate behavior. Here's a report.
India is currently battling the devastating second wave of the COVID-19 infection. As a result, the health infrastructure across the country has come under tremendous pressure. Further, reports of new and more infectious variants of the virus have also scared people. However, Indian scientists are keeping an eye on all the variants of concern, and genome sequencing is being done continuously to identify the significant mutations in the virus.
When does it become a variant of concern? That is when we have sufficient data to tell us that this is going to impact clinically on the virus. And till then, when we see any of such variations coming in, which would probably, as we said, mutation it's something that happens naturally. There would be hundreds of mutations happening. But when that mutation goes on to a specific point of the gene sequence where it could impact, then it becomes a variant under investigation. It goes through the investigation. When it gets clinically correlated, then it becomes a variant of concern.
As it is clear, the more a virus spreads amongst a population, the more it changes or mutates. In such a situation, it is our collective responsibility to break the chain of infection and stop it from spreading further. One important step in this direction is the vaccination of more and more people. Vaccination strengthens the immune system of a person and helps to fight an infection in a better way. This will reduce the burden on our health services and infrastructure, and scientists and health workers will be able to work more efficiently.
What we need to do does not change because of the variants. Masks and distancing are critical and most effective. Given the higher transmissibility of some variants, this is most important, but it is the same message. The variants do not alter the message. The variants are transmitted the same way as the original strain. It does not have other properties of new kinds of transmission in the air or anything like that. It just infects humans in a manner which makes it more transmissible because it gains entry, makes more copies, and goes out again, the same way as the original one. Second, vaccines are effective against the current variants.
No matter how contagious the virus is and how many times it undergoes mutation, There are some easy ways to control its spread. All we have to do is follow the guidelines that are now accepted globally to break the chain of COVID-19 transmission. If we follow COVID-appropriate behavior like social distancing of 2 meters, avoiding crowded areas, not attending any physical events, using double masks while venturing out, maintaining hand hygiene, and sanitizing regularly, we can surely succeed in breaking the chain of transmission. Currently, experts recommend use of double masks. First, you must put on a surgical mask in such a way that no air escapes from its sides, and then put on a cloth mask on top. If you are able to secure an authentic N95 mask, then there is no need to wear a double mask.
The response to the changing virus remains the same. The response to curbing the chains of transmission of the virus remains the same. And it starts with our personal behavior, mask, distancing, hygiene, no unnecessary meeting people, staying within the family as much as you can. That protects you. Second, the vaccination protects you. So important that we embrace the vaccine without hesitation. And third is the onus of the system to make sure that a positive case does not lead to more cases through tracking and containment strategy. These are the 3 pillars which stop the chains of transmission.
Misinformation on the pandemic is another problem for the country. Incomplete and incorrect information should not be shared with anybody. Attention should only be paid to authentic and official sources such as Ministry of Health, the country's top scientific institutes, health institutes, and the World Health Organization. Taking all necessary measures to stop the disease will reduce the unnecessary burden on the corona warriors and help the country to overcome the crisis.
In view of the situation arising due to the COVID-19 pandemic in the country, CSIR's Central Mechanical Engineering Research Institute at Durgapur has developed an Oxygen Enrichment Unit. This cost-effective unit can be used for the treatment of COVID-19 patients and may also help reduce the demand for oxygen cylinders and ventilators in the country. The institute has entered into technology agreements with industries for accelerated commercial production of the unit. More details in this report.
Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, laboratories of the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research spread across the country have been working on strengthening the nation by developing various quick solutions. The current crisis is due to high demand of oxygen. It is estimated that about 3 lakh patients infected with COVID-19 are in need of oxygen daily. Many CSIR institutes have come forward to find solutions to this problem. One such solution is the Oxygen Enrichment Unit developed by CSIR, Central Mechanical Engineering Research Institute in Durgapur. The institute has entered into agreements with several industries for commercial production of this unit to provide indigenous solutions to the country. This unit will help in high-flow oxygen therapy, which has been proven to be an improved method in the treatment and management of COVID-19 patients.
On average, one person requires 5 to 20 LPM of air every time. Now, if I assume the person is taking 100% oxygen, then it will require a huge quantity, because on average, more than 3 lakh patients in India per day require oxygen. It's a huge quantity. It cannot be satisfied with a cylinder-filled oxygen. We need to have a different strategies. One more point comes, in air also we have oxygen, almost 21%. And it has also been known that oxygen requirement may not be 100%. Sometimes 30%, sometimes 40%, for a few patients 50%, for a few patients 70%. Oxygen is sufficient. So we require some different kind of units. That's why we call as the Oxygen Enrichment Units.
This indigenous Oxygen Enrichment Unit of CSIR-CMERI works on the principle of pressure swing adsorption and utilizes zeolite columns for selective removal of nitrogen from air to provide oxygen-enriched air. The oxygen is then given to patients through an oxygen mask or a cannula placed in the nose. The device is capable of delivering oxygen at the rate of 15 to 30 liters per minute with a purity of more than 90%, being a cost-effective, small and customizable device. This unit can easily be delivered to patients who are in desperate need of oxygen.
These are the locally available materials which can be utilized to fabricate oxygen enrichment unit. And one more thing, these all are the in-house units. They don't really require a transportation from various places. So transportation can be reduced, dependency on different parties can be reduced, and this is what we require.
CSIR's Pune-based National Chemical Laboratory has also developed a larger oxygen enrichment device based on hollow fiber membrane. In view of the increasing air pollution and pulmonary diseases, such technologies will also prove useful in the post-COVID times. The customizable oxygen enrichment unit of CMERI can also operate at a height of up to 14,000 feet. Therefore, it can also be used by armed forces personnel stationed in high altitude areas.
Time for a short break on the program. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Article 124 deals with establishment and constitution of Supreme Court. A judge of the Supreme Court shall not be removed from his office except by an order of the President passed after an address by each House of the Parliament, supported by a majority of total membership of that House and by a majority of not less than 2/3 of the members of that House present and voting, has been presented to the President in the same session for such removal on the ground of proved misbehavior or incapacity. Parliament may, by law, regulate the procedure for the presentation of an address and for the investigation and proof of the misbehavior or incapacity of a judge under Clause 4. Every person appointed to be a judge of the Supreme Court shall, before he enters upon his office, make and subscribe before the President or some person appointed in that behalf by him an oath or affirmation according to the form set out for the purpose in the 3rd schedule. No person who has held office as a judge of the Supreme Court shall plead or act in any court or before any authority within the territory of India.
Welcome back. You're watching Science Monitor. Scientists at the Indian Institute of Technology Mandi have invented a new technique to detect abnormal brain characteristics associated with ischemic stroke. This technique will now make it easier to study the blood flow and functions of the nerves of the brain. The method helps in locating and classifying damaged sites or lesions in the brain that lead to neurological diseases. Here's a report.
According to health surveys, about 3 crore people in India suffer from neurological disorders. These include epilepsy, stroke, Parkinson's, traumatic brain injuries, and neuroinfections. Although neurosurgeons and hospitals across India have made considerable progress in neurosurgical diagnosis and treatment, yet brain disorders often go undetected, which leads to delay in treatment strategies. To overcome this shortcoming, researchers at the Indian Institute of Technology Mandi have developed a method that helps in locating and classifying lesions in the brain that lead to neurological diseases. Using this method, the diagnosis can be done quickly and accurately.
The device is used for stimulating the neurovascular system of cerebral tissue while simultaneously recording the neuronal and hemodynamic responses. The device can be used for the care of various neurovascular disorders including ischemic stroke at the point of care and serves to help the people in the rural areas who are deprived of healthcare facilities normally accessible to people in bigger towns and cities.
Neurovascular coupling or NVC involves complex interactions between neurons and blood vessels that regulate blood flow to the brain. When nerve impulses do not trigger the required blood flow, neurovascular uncoupling occurs. It leads to narrow or blocked blood vessels, leading to decreased blood flow and ischemic stroke. Studies show that 85% strokes are ischemic stroke. That is why it is important to assess the status of neurovascular coupling for the prevention, diagnosis and treatment of such diseases. For this, researchers at IIT Mandi used a multi-modal brain stimulation system. They combined electroencephalography and near-infrared spectroscopy into an integrated device that allows to measure the nerve action and brain blood flow at the same time. The NVC problems can be identified immediately by feeding the acquired data into mathematical models. The method can pinpoint the actual location of the NV uncoupling. The device can also help in identifying the progress of diseases such as Parkinson's and can predict occurrence of these diseases even before the appearance of the symptoms.
The basic mechanism of STTD device is to increase or decrease the neuronal excitability. This type of user-specific technology reduces the burden of the patient to regular visit to the neurological institutes. Such type of the technology strives to gift back a patient for a much normal and independent lifestyle.
The technique makes it easier to decide the course of treatment quickly in stroke and hypertension cases. Under the leadership of Dr. Shobhajit Roy Chaudhary, the research was conducted in collaboration with Dr. Abhijit Das, a neurologist at the Institute of Neurosciences, Kolkata, and Dr. Anirban Datta, an assistant professor from the University at Buffalo, USA. The study has been published in the IEEE Journal of Translational Engineering in Health and Medicine, and the team has also recently been granted a US patent for the invention.
The second wave of the COVID pandemic is increasing pressure on our health services and hospitals day by day. And there is great need for better hospital managers for increasing the efficiency of operations, patient care, and various other procedures relating to hospitals. Therefore, the field of hospital management offers many opportunities even for the non-science graduates. In this report, let's see how one can make a career in this field.
The coronavirus pandemic has put enormous pressure on the healthcare system of the entire world. Yet it is only the health institutes that are leading the fight against this pandemic. Apart from physicians and health workers, hospital management staff play a crucial role in the efficient functioning of the hospitals, organizing and delivering medical services like hospital beds, ICUs, medicines, medical equipment for patients, etc. are the responsibility of the hospital management. Trained managers are needed for the task. The need for better and advanced services has in fact increased the opportunities for hospital managers. The Department of Hospital Management monitors all the arrangements related to the hospital so that resources can be fully and properly utilized. They also have the task of arranging modern equipment and updating technology and connecting skilled doctors to the hospital. It is part of the job of the hospital manager to take care of the hospital's financial arrangements, staff facilities, and develop efficient service delivery mechanisms for patients. Estimates suggest that more than 10 lakh hospital managers will be required in the near future. A career in this field, officially known as healthcare administration, healthcare management, or hospital management, can also be made without actually undergoing medical education. Hospital management courses mainly come in three forms: a bachelor degree in hospital management, master's degree in hospital management, and an MBA degree in hospital management. MD and MPhil can also be done in hospital management, but for that, the candidate eligibility is an MBBS degree. Physicians can enter the field of hospital management after doing this course. Apart from this, there are several diploma and certificate courses in hospital management. For admission to an undergraduate course, the candidate must have cleared senior secondary examination of class 12 with at least 50% aggregate. A bachelor's degree in hospital management is required for doing a master's course. Courses related to hospital management or healthcare management are offered by many institutes across the country. These include the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi, Armed Forces Medical College, Pune, Devi Ahilya University, Indore, Symbiosis Center of Healthcare, Pune, Faculty of Management Studies, University of Delhi, Birla Institute of Technology and Science, Pilani, Apollo Institute of Hospital Administration, Hyderabad, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai. After the compilation of these courses and acquiring a degree, one can work in government or private hospitals, nursing homes, international and domestic healthcare institutions, health insurance companies, etc. As per the syllabus and qualification, a candidate can start as an assistant hospital manager, blood bank manager or health services manager and go on to reach positions such as dean and director in medical colleges, earning a good salary. In this way, hospital management can become a good choice of career for any youth who is able to meet the challenges of the job.
Time for another quick break on the show. There's still more coming up ahead. Don't go anywhere.
Article 123 is related to power of President to promulgate ordinances during recess of the Parliament. If at any time, except when both houses of Parliament are in session, the President is satisfied that circumstances exist which render it necessary for him to take immediate action, he may promulgate such ordinances as the circumstances appear to him to require. An ordinance promulgated under this article shall have the same force and effect as an act of the Parliament, but every such ordinance shall be laid before both houses of Parliament and shall cease to operate at the expiration of 6 weeks from the reassembly of the Parliament, or of before the expiration of that period. Resolutions disapproving it are passed by both houses upon the passing of the second of those resolutions. The ordinance may be withdrawn at any time by the President. If and so far as an ordinance under this article makes any provision which Parliament would not under this Constitution be competent to enact, it shall be void.
Welcome back once again. You're watching Science Monitor. Time now to take a quick look at some other developments that have made news in the field of science and technology in our special segment, Science Express.
Six girls from Assam have developed biodegradable yoga mats using water hyacinth, a freshwater weed. The girls belong to a fishing community living on the fringe of Deepor Beel, a freshwater lake in southwest of Guwahati, recognized as a Ramsar site. The lake is the source of livelihood for 9 villages, though it has been suffering from excessive growth of water hyacinth. A women's group led by the 6 girls was formed at the initiative of Northeast Center for Technology Application and Reach, an autonomous body under Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, to create wealth from water hyacinth plants. Solar dryers were provided to the group for quick drying of plants, and natural dye and other resources are being used to give them a better look and form. The yoga mats are completely biodegradable and compostable and are named Moorhen. This innovation provides a sustainable solution against the menace of water hyacinth and can contribute significantly towards the environmental conservation and Atmanirbhar mission. An ultra-white paint can reduce the need for air conditioners. This is claimed by researchers at Purdue University in the state of Indiana, USA. The researchers have developed an ultra-white paint that reflects 98.1% of sunlight. Researchers have created this paint using different sized particles of barium sulfate. If this paint is used on roofs and walls, the house can remain cool without an air conditioner. Painting a roof of 1,000 square feet home with this paint translates to a cooling power of 10 kilowatts. At night, the paint was found to keep the surfaces 19 degrees Fahrenheit cooler than the surroundings, while during sunny hours, the paint kept outdoor surfaces 8 degrees Fahrenheit cooler than the average surrounding temperature. Now further tests are being conducted to find the durability of the product. In future, such innovative products may help in reversing the global warming trend. Indian scientists have developed a new high-yielding and pest-resistant variety of soybean. Pune-based Agarkar Research Institute, an autonomous institute of the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, has developed the variety called Max 1407 in collaboration with the Indian Council of Agricultural Research. This variety was developed using the conventional crossbreeding techniques and gives 39 quintals of soybean per hectare. Soybean is one of the major oilseed crops in the country besides being an economical source of protein for cattle feed. In view of the ever-increasing demand for edible oils in the country, this variety can prove to be helpful in meeting the targets. The variety matures in 104 days and requires less water and fertilizer. It is also favorable for mechanical harvesting and can be grown in various states of Northeast India. NASA's Parker Solar Probe has detected a natural low-frequency radio signal while flowing through the upper atmosphere of the planet Venus. This was the first direct measurement of the Venusian atmosphere in nearly 30 years, which has revealed considerable changes in the ionosphere of Venus. The Parker probe was launched by NASA in the year 2018 to study the Sun. The radio signal was detected on 11th July 2020 during the probe's brief swing by Venus. At 517 miles above the surface, it was the probe's closest flyby of Venus so far. The study found that the upper atmosphere of the Venus undergoes puzzling changes over a solar cycle.
So that's it from us in this edition of Science Monitor. You can send us your feedback and suggestions through email. Our email ID is news@vigyanprasar.gov.in. You can also write to us. Here is our address: Vigyan Prasar, 5th floor, Prithvi Bhavan, Lodi Road, New Delhi, 111003. So we'll take your leave now. See you again same time next week. Until then, stay safe, take care of your families, and continue to think scientifically.